that game there 2 years ago to ask you about it?
No, I haven't really talked about it at all since the day. So,
What is the lesson learned from the way that game went?
I mean, really just the fact that it's a rivalry game and both teams are going to come out with wanting to kill the other team. So, just knowing that even though it's another game on the schedule, you can't take away that there's a little bit more to it than just a game.
Is there a game or a moment as somebody who's been a lifelong Iowa State fan that sticks out to you in this rivalry, or anything that when I say Cy-Hawk, I guess what comes to mind?
Probably the Georgia and kiss.
Okay.
I mean, that's probably the most iconic thing from when I was growing up. Obviously, they had great battles and great teams on both sides when I was growing up, so there was great battles.
Did you go to that game there, or you were watching on TV and remember, like, oh, look at what George did?
Yeah, I remember watching it on TV and seeing highlights. I wasn't at many of those games, but definitely was watching.
Hoping to do an homage to that at any point?
Not thinking about that. Just thinking about getting the win. The things we got to focus on.
Did you want to leave your shoes at midcourt instead, or no?
I remember that too from him. So I like to keep my shoes though. I wear my shoes quite often. So.
What do you tell your team about the importance of this rivalry growing up and stuff like that?
Yeah, a lot of them have no clue about it, so they'll get to see it firsthand with this game. But obviously, me and guys like Kate Kelderman, who grew up in Iowa, know a lot about it. Obviously, in football and all the different sports, it's a big deal in every single sport that we have. So, just knowing it means maybe that much more for me and him, and then the other guys getting to see this battle, I think it's going to be exciting for them.
TJ's told us frequently recently you're not at 100%, but given the way you play, I'd imagine that being at 100% has probably been kind of a foreign concept for you for a while. Just what does that look like, and what does that feel like for you?
Yeah, like you said, it's really I don't know if I've ever been 100% just with the bumps and bruises in the long season that we have, but we just try to do the best to get me feeling as best as possible for each game. So if that's looking at reps in practice or just things like that, and getting in the training room, so just being high alert on those things.
Is it having to change the way you play? I guess not in terms of effort, but in terms of what you can physically do at times?
I'd say sometimes, depending on what it is or how it feels. But a lot of the times adrenaline kicks in, so I don't really feel the achiness of whatever I'm dealing with. So I just try to go out there and give whatever I can to help the team win.
This game has been a blowout going both ways over the past 3 years. How important is the first 10 minutes in sort of taking control and keeping momentum on your side?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in the last 3 years, just the first team to really get out with that lead kind of just holds it the rest of the game. So it's super important to come out strong and come out aggressive for us, like we like to play up and down, and defensively just get it locked in from the start. That'll be super important, especially going to their place. They'll have some advantages with fans and stuff like that. So just realizing that we got to go and play our game, and it's a game of runs, so it could go either way.
Have you seen Newland continue to develop in the ways that the coaches have asked him, hunting the three more constantly being on the move, defensive glass, that type of stuff?
Yeah, I think he's been rebounding at a much higher level than he did last year, which has been great to see. Then guarding the ball has improved a lot as well. So he's expanding his game, and obviously he's shooting like 50% from three. So whenever he doesn't shoot it, when I pass it to him, I get a little upset. So I'm always telling him to hunt his shots, and he does a great job of picking the ones he knows he can make, which is good. So, but if I was him, I'd be shooting it every time.
Tamin, how serious, or how much pride do you take in just the leadership role on this team, and just how do you approach that this year?
Yeah, it's completely different than what I've had in the past. So being a leader is super cool, especially with the guys we have this year. We have a lot of guys that have played a lot of basketball. So being one of those leaders on the team means a lot, and having my voice mean a lot in the locker room, on the court. So being precise with what I say and how I act, because I know it can affect the whole group.